The European Union as a sovereign is the title of this panel. And let's start with the conclusion. It's not a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. Originally, I'm an entrepreneur and a businessman with an electrical engineering background, not really a politician. I decided to enter politics in 2017 to add some common sense. The reason, I have 2 children and I want to pass on a country to where democracy functions well. In the past 20 years, I've seen the freedom that I took for granted when I was young disappear. Political correctness had silenced us slowly but surely. It was time for action. And meanwhile, the political correctness has now even transformed into the extreme woke ideology. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time, it's up to us to turn on the tide. When I was elected to Parliament, it took me quite a while to get used to the way the politics is done in Brussels. I love Europe, but I'm a staunch Eurosceptic. And finding out how the European Parliament works only made me more convinced of the need for change. Almost 3 years after being elected to Parliament, I see things as follows. The European Commission has the lead. It has become a huge law-making machine running wild. 35,000 civil servants are working on a daily basis to create an ever closer union. My friends, I can tell you this. In reality, the phrase ever closer union always means an ever bigger government, an ever less national sovereignty. And this European Commission sets up new programs all the time. The motto, never waste a good crisis. The financial crisis was their first huge power grab. Keeping Greece in the euro wasn't based on economic logic. It was based on Euro-federalist logic. Right after the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, they created Eurobonds, a form of common EU debt. And now that Russia has brutally attacked Ukraine, the EU needs less than a month to launch an unholy plan for a European Union army. And then, of course, there is the Green Deal, an attempt to capture power over all activities in life, economic and social. When everything we do leads to carbon emissions, even breathing, and the EU has an all-encompassing plan to eliminate carbon emissions, the only conclusion is that they want to regulate everything we do in our lives and decide it on EU level. It will destroy small businesses. It will take away citizens' freedom and even fundamental rights. They did it with COVID. And in the end, it will impoverish our people. And that's what I call communism. Then we have the Council. In theory, they should have the lead. But in practice, they lost it all to the Commission. The Council consists of national ministers who claim to stand up for their national interests whenever at home, but who are happy to support all Commission's proposals when they are in Brussels. And last, and definitely least, the Parliament. The European Parliament has no real powers. It has no formal right of legislative initiative. No real debate is possible. We as MEPs cannot even interrupt each other. No one is listening. We get no information from the Commission. If we want information, I read Politico, because the Commission talks to Politico before they talk to us. And there is no public scrutiny whatsoever, because even though 75% of legislation is made in Brussels, the national media aren't there. Margaret Thatcher called it the Mickey Mouse Parliament for a reason. And to make things worse, a Parliament applauds all Commission proposals because the vast majority of the MEPs are Euro-federalists. Eurosceptical voters often do not vote. Or they vote for parties that claim to stand up for the country, but vote for more European Union all the time. In my country, the Netherlands, it's the VVD, in Germany it's the CDU, and in Spain it's Partido popular, and the list is endless. So this is the picture. A Commission that has lost all sense of reality and is obsessed with an ever closer union. A Council with men and women without balls to stand up for their country, and a Parliament that is a Euro-federalist applause machine and a toothless tiger at the same time. We need to change things. The Council should have the lead. The Commission should be a secretariat aimed to foster aimed to foster voluntary cooperation between member states. The Parliament should be abolished. Instead, a select number of members of the national parliaments should come together, with all power continuing to reside with these national parliaments. Indeed, I aim to abolish my own job, and I do that with pleasure. So how can we reach this goal? First of all, by coming together at events like these, with like-minded people. The media try to demonize us, and we hear stories about each other all the time, how this party is bad or that person is beyond the pale. And it's a tactic to prevent successful cooperation among national conservatives who do nothing wrong. We only want the best for our countries. So we should come together, and we should discuss strategies to form blocking minorities in the Council, which is the only institution that can pull the brake on the Commission's insane proposals. Currently, there are national conservatives and patriotic parties that do not wish to work together because they disagree on some issues. I hope that in the future we no longer let ourselves be divided, that we have the courage to cooperate, to speak out and act on the issues where we can find common ground. But hope is not a strategy. Therefore, all kinds of parties with different national sensibilities met in Warsaw in the beginning of December of last year at a conservative summit. Prime Minister Morawiecki from Poland, Prime Minister Orban from Hungary, Madame Le Pen from France, Mr. Abascal from Spain, and many more parties from Belgium, Austria, Romania, the Netherlands, etc. We start looking for common issues on which we can cooperate. A second meeting was held in Madrid, hosted by Vox. During the Madrid summit, the representatives of the European Conservative parties talked about the EU borders security, demography, energy, and the protection of European culture. We have shown that there is a different future for Europe, which is based on sovereign countries, not on any centralized structure that takes away powers from states, Mr. Morawiecki said after the meeting. And that is what we need. We need to get to know each other and to cooperate at themes that unite us. Of course, we have our differences between us, and that's fine. But we will be able to change the course of the European Union only when we work together. Therefore, I applaud good polls for like-minded parties from Italy to Poland and from Hungary to Spain. We need national conservatives to be in the government throughout all of Europe. We have to form this blocking minority in the Council, because in order to truly love Europe, we have to embrace the nation states once again. Thank you very much.